Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about all the books that I read in July, and we are a little bit late doing the July wrap up, but Booktubeathon just passed and I was trying to do daily vlogging. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but all those videos should be up, and so let's just get right into what I read for the month of July. So for the month of July, I read a total of 6 books. I have 2 5-star reviews, 2 4-star, 1 3-star, and 1 3.5. And sorry, that is 3 5 stars because one of these books I did rate 4 stars, but I ended up changing the rating later on because it just stuck with me, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So the first book that I read for the month of July was the last and final Harry Potter book. And Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I was so hesitant to start this book because that just meant that that's it. There wasn't any more Harry Potter to read other than rereads, and trust you me, I will be doing rereads of Harry Potter for the entirety of my life, the rest of my life. I don't care if I'm 80 years old, as long as I got sight, I will read Harry Potter, God willing. What a perfect way to end Harry Potter. Some things that just made me really, really sad, but overall, it's a fantastic book. Fantastic. If you have yet to read Harry Potter, please do me and you a favor and get to reading it. I waited 36 years of my life to read this, and I am not gonna kid you. Not that I was a mean girl or anything, but anytime anybody liked Harry Potter, I saw anybody wearing anything Harry Potter, loving Harry Potter, or obsessed with Harry Potter, I would just roll my eyes and probably make fun of them. You know that saying, don't spit up? Yeah. I am like beyond obsessed. There is nothing better for me than Harry Potter in the world. So, except my husband and my daughter, but I'm trying to get my daughter to read this. My daughter is not a reader at all. Like, I think she read the Twilight series, and I think she ended up like maybe like 50 pages shy of finishing the whole entire trilogy or whatever it was. And she never finished it, but I'm really trying to get her to read Harry Potter just to give it a try. I mean, you never know. She's not a reader, but maybe she falls in love with Harry Potter. I just told her to give the first book a try. She's 17 years old, and so let's see how that goes, man. But she's giving me trouble. But what a fantastic world. I wish I could live in this world. I wish I could turn my life into this world. And I'm gonna stop talking about this book because I can spend an entire day, my entire life, eternity, talking about this book. So if you haven't read Harry Potter, please just give book 1 a try. Book 1, it's not really big. It's a pretty short book. Just give it a try and then tell me what you think. The next book I read for the month of July has to be, besides Harry Potter, one of my favorites from the month, and that is Kill River. Oh, this book was so good. I'm actually gonna do a Fright Friday with this book. I've only done one of those videos, but I am gonna do another one with this one. Just know I gave it 5 stars. I don't wanna get too much into it because I wanna do that Fright Friday video. I initially gave this book 4 stars. It was good, it was fantastic. But the week went by and I was still thinking about it. A week and a half went by and I'm like, you know what? I need to buy the second book, and I did. I actually bought all his books off of Amazon. He primarily focuses on 80s horror slasher kind of books, and that's exactly what this is. We're just following a girl and her friends through summer camp. They run away, shit happens, but it's a fantastic book. Ended up changing it to 5 stars just because I still have not stopped thinking about this. I don't know if it was the water park element, the summer element, the camp element, the 80s element, the slasher element. Maybe it was all the above, but this was so fantastic. If you like horror, if you like 80s slasher, I would totally recommend that. 5 stars. The next book that I read was The Wicked Deep, and I read this one during the biannual bibliothon. This was the group book. I usually don't do group books when anybody or any readathon has a group book. I normally don't read them, but I had this one in my stash and I've been really wanting to read it, so I just took advantage, split it up into the 7 days, read a piece every single day, and I fell in love with it. Midway through the book, I was thinking about giving it 3 stars, but I really liked the way it ended. It made me cry. I'm a hopeless romantic at heart. I mean, I love horror and I love guts and gore and zombies and vampires and all that shit, but at heart, I'm a hopeless romantic. I love insta love. I love love. I love relationships. I love a good love. So I loved this. 5 stars. I loved the scenery on it, the world, the atmosphere in it. It was just perfect in my eyes. Really enjoyed it. Gave it 5 stars. Let's see what we're gonna talk about. The puppy wool. The puppy wool. I made notes because I guess I felt like I needed to take notes. Next book I read for the month of July is The Poppy War. I joined Elliot Brooks in her read-along for this. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. I thought it was going to be a 5 stars. Now, it wasn't that it was a bad book, because I did enjoy about half of it. This starts off reading like a YA. By the second part of the book, it speeds up more into an adult. I'm going to tell you the things I enjoyed about this book. This follows our main character, Rin, as she's trying to get into, I believe the name of the school is Synagard. I really don't remember much of like the actual names and stuff of the places other than hers. And she has to like really study hard because they're about to marry her off in the house that she's living in, which is her foster parents. She's a war orphan, and so they're about to marry her off for their own benefit. Like her uncle and aunt is what they're called, are like drug lords or drug dealers, and so they're trying to get in bigger into the drug whatever. And so I need words. My words aren't coming out. But anyways, and so they're trying to marry her off, and she's like, hell no, no, I am not going to marry anybody. And then so she studies really hard to get into this very prestigious school where they train you for war and they train you in all these different kinds of things. And so she keeps that in her mind, and I love her resiliency. That's one thing that the beginning of the book just marked her resiliency, and she was like, no, you are not marrying me off. I'm studying for this shit, and I'm gonna get, I'm gonna get into this school. So she gets to the school, and she's picked on because she is of a darker complexion than the majority of them. She's from a poorer class. And so, but she's resilient. She does it. She makes it. She doesn't let anything stop her, which I love about this book. I love how they teach about the traditions in that area. They talk about like the shadow puppetry and the summer of festival. I had to write notes with this because it was a lot. I will say I really did enjoy it, but I just felt like it was missing something. I don't know what it is yet, but it was missing something. I felt like towards the end it was like really rushed. Like there was all these chapters and all like more than half of a book with explanations and then bam, things start happening, but it was almost like rushed. Like the ending to me fell flat for some reason. I am going to say trigger warnings for like cruelty, as far as like there's child cruelty in here. Very like brief, but it does talk about like some descriptive stuff about like cruelty of babies, of children. There is slaughterings. I mean, it is a very gruesome book, so if that doesn't bother you, then I would go ahead and read it. But it was such it's a hunker of a book to be like rushed at the end. This is a debut novel, so keeping that in mind, it was pretty good. But either way, I gave it 3 stars. I enjoyed the majority of it, but the last half, it was sort of like, not even the last half, the last 3/4 or so, it just felt rushed, like it's missing something. And I think this is going to be a series, if I'm not mistaken, so I don't know if I'm going to pick up the second series or not. We'll see when it comes out, but 3 stars. The next book I read for the month of July, and how repetitive can I be, is Girls Night Out. Now this is a book that has been talked about on Instagram up and down, that the day it came out or around that time, I bought it and I just sat at the pool and I read it and I read it and I read it. I gave this 4 stars, pretty good. Chick lit thriller almost. It follows these 3 friends. They're sort of having a rocky friendship. Stuff is happening, and this one girl decides that she is just going to do a trip to Tulum, Mexico, and take her friends with her and try to work things out with each one of them. And stuff just goes wrong. Goes very wrong. One of them goes missing. They're trying to figure out what happened to her. I think it's 3 point of views, and each one of them is the friend, and they're just trying to figure out, and it goes back in time, forward in time, back in time, forward in time, back in time, forward in time. I really enjoyed it. The only thing that kept this book from being 5 stars for me personally and my taste is that it was very like chick litty kind of thriller, if that makes sense. I was vlogging when I read this book, but I decided not to upload that vlog because it was the first time that I had ever vlogged. But in that vlog, I had mentioned how I am a makeup kind of girl. This whole desk where I'm sitting at is full of makeup, liquid lipsticks, my brushes, my foundations. That little IKEA, I think it's called the Alex drawers that you see right there, is stacked full of makeup. I love makeup. I love Sephora. I love Ulta. Not more than I love reading. I love all that aspect of it, but I necessarily don't like reading about it. I don't like reading about the YouTube world, and one of the girls with the other one of her friends, they own this spin brush hair, and so they talk about HSN and selling and Revlon, and I don't like reading about those things. So that is the only thing that didn't make it a 5 stars, that chick lit feel behind it. But the thriller part of it and the mystery part of it was fantastic. They did have a couple of like creepy night scenes where they're gonna go off on this tourist thing to see this pyramid, and it's like dark, and I loved all that about it. This cover is fantastic. It's beautiful. I really did enjoy it. The end was just perfect. The way they just closed this whole book up was fantastic. Excuse me. But if you're really into like chick lit and thrillers and all of that, I would highly recommend this one. And even if you're not into chick lit contemporary kind of things, I would still recommend this one. Another thing that I just thought about, it was very repetitive, like extremely repetitive. And I don't know if it was the timeline switching back and forth, but she just kept mentioning like the issues that she has with her friends, and she wanted to fix the issues with her friend, and she wanted to fix the issues, and then maybe if she could talk to her, maybe if she could. It was extremely repetitive like that. It could have been much shorter, omitting, you know, all the times that she repeated her issues with her friends. But overall, 4 stars, really enjoyed it. Highly recommend one more time. And the last book that I read for the month of July is Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon McGuire. I have not even said any of the authors from these books, but sorry. But I'll tell you this last one. Girls Night Out is by Liz Fenton and Lisa Steinke. I don't know how to pronounce the name. The Poppy War was by R.F. Kuang. I think that's how you say the name. The Wicked Deep was by Shay Earnshaw. Kill River by Cameron Rubik. Go check him out on Instagram. Check him out on Amazon. Fantastic. And Harry Potter is J.K. Rowling, as we all know. So, Every Heart a Doorway. I gave this book 3.5 stars. I still don't know how I feel about this one. I enjoyed it. I just felt like it wasn't enough. Granted, it's a very short book, and it was very well detailed and written, I guess, for a very short book. I already have Down Among the Sticks and Bones, dying to read that one because I heard that that one dives more into the actual fantastical worlds that they go through. As far as character, very character driven. in my opinion. That's what I enjoyed about it. What I didn't enjoy about it was the lack of world, the fantastical world parts, like the actual going through. They have very small descriptions of what each world, each kid comes from, but as far as like diving into the world, they don't have much of, which I know from seeing what other people have been saying is that, you know, the other books do talk more about those actual worlds. I felt like it was something missing, and when there's something missing in a book, for me, it's very hard to pinpoint. The end, for some reason, had me super sad. But I'm really excited. All that aside, I'm really excited to see where these books go, or where this story goes. I know that the second book, from what I heard from Murphy Napier, is that the second book is basically that this book is a spoiler for the second book, because the second book concentrates really big on some of the characters, which we already know that something happens to. I don't know if I'm making sense of that, but either way, I'm really looking forward to the rest of these books. 3.5 stars. And that was it. Those were all the books that I read for the month of July. I really did enjoy the majority of them. It was a good reading month. August is going to be a better reading month. I can feel it in my bones, probably because I already know what I have been reading, and I've probably already read as many books, and we're not even fully into August as I did in July. So I guess that's good, because I'm making dents into my piles. But either way, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please let me know down below what books you read for the month of July, what books you loved, what books you didn't love so much, and what do you recommend that I pick up of your favorite books in July. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one.